Okay, you're back with the Passionfruit Whalrus, and in this bit right now we are just finishing off the last few moments of this mission, and then we'll be heading off to the next one. Don't really need to do this, but I'm just sort of moving the tanks up to cover Kerrigan and the Psi emitters advance. So they can go up now and should win us this level. Mission, whatever.
Emitter in place. Just promise me we'll never do anything like this again.
We will do whatever it takes to save humanity. Our responsibility is too great to do any less.
But they are just sort of leaving planets to the Zerg, which is idiotic. The Zerg, lured by the Psi emitter's signal, descended upon the unsuspecting Confederate forces and annihilated them. Once again, the Protoss fleet, under the command of High Templar Tassadar, arrived and incinerated the planet. The Big Push, command ship Hyperion, holding perimeter orbit over the Confederate capital world Tarsonis.
Greetings, Commander. Receiving incoming transmission.
The time of our final strike against the Confederacy is close at hand. Before we can strike at Tarsonis itself, however, we must break through the Confederacy's most potent defenses. General Duke will brief you.
I've defended Tarsonis in over 30 major battles, so I know its defenses inside and out. There are 3 primary orbital platforms that serve as staging areas for the Confederate fleet. If we assault the central platform, we should cause enough of a ruckus to allow a small force to break through the planetary defenses.
General, I'm impressed. I never figured you for the frontal assault type.
Well, the Confederates have Omega and Delta Squadron troops defending the platform. And they're nothing compared to my Alpha Squadron boys.
Right.
Okay. Does make you wonder how old Duke actually is, because 30 major battles in against the capital world seems like a lot for one man's lifetime. I mean, how unpopular are the Confederates anyway? And how do their enemies like have enough troops and stuff to mount 30 attacks within
I haven't got all day.
however many years he's been around?
Should work.
I mean, he's not even completely white, so it's like...
Can't believe this. Alpha Squadron never would have left this equipment behind. That's what I call sloppy.
So, I mean, he's what, maybe 60 or something? It's a lot of warfare in a short period of time, really. Right then, let's get these things down. This one's going here. They all sort of mate up with their add-on bits. There's another one down here. Yep. Right.
Standing by.
Don't really need these guys at the moment, but they can just go up here and guard that little bit. Let's pop that there.
I'm listening. Strap yourselves in, boys.
And annoyingly, I can't build anything yet because I'm maxed out at my unit capacity to start with. So the first thing I have to do is build bloody supply depots. Let's get them out of the way. Don't need dropships for the moment.
Landing sequence interrupted.
Ah, finally, bloody marines in the way. Yeah, the whole sort of luring the Zerg to worlds does seem like a stupid idea. It's a bit like the using aliens or zombies or something as bioweapons, because unless they just disappear after they've sort of massacred everybody, there's not really any benefit to doing that, because you just sort of exchange one enemy for the other. I mean, the Zerg wipe out wherever, and then you've got to wipe out the Zerg instead of whoever else was there. And arguably the Zerg are worse, so it's just stupid. But anyway, minor plot flaw. It's a bit like in Resident Evil as well, where they try and use zombies as bioweapons. It's just like, well, unless the zombies just fall apart and die after like a short period of time, they're not actually any use, because you're just going to have like a territory infested with zombies, which is going to be more of a hassle than, you know, regular troops would be. So yeah, it's a weird kind of idea.
Forces are under attack.
Go ahead, attack formation.
I think Duke needs to sort them out. Okay. Just a couple more of them. Get me another Marine going. Come on. Right. Let's do some of Duke's dialogue.
I haven't got all day. Make up your mind. I haven't got all day. Well, good to go, sir. Been a general for 15 years. Now I'll take one piece of me, boy. This core hull outfit's a mess. Y'all need some good old-fashioned discipline. That's what you need. What?
So you've been a general for 15 years. So when he says he's defended Tarsonis, does he mean that he's defended it as a general, or does he mean that he's defended it, you know, just in general? Because if it was as a general, then that's like 2 major battles every fucking year of his generalhood. Which is pretty fucking intense, really. And it's not like they're minor battles, they're major battles. That's fucking weird.
Right away, sir. SCP good to go, sir.
Maybe someone didn't think it through and it just sounds cool. Yeah, so I'm going to move this down here because the distance the SCVs are going to have to travel to get the gas to here means that the sort of gas production rate is going to be really slow. So I'm just going to move this down. I don't need the 2 nuclear silos at all, really, and certainly not right now, so that's not a problem. Let it build a chappy as well. Let that do its thing, and have a couple more of them. Some more Marines go in, and yeah, okay.
SCP good to go, sir. Affirmative.
Yeah, there's a definite sort of downside to strategy games like this, in that you do have to sort of spend quite a lot of time just building your bases and just counting your resources and things before you can actually do anything.
SCP good to go, sir. Orders received.
I suppose it might add a bit of realism in some sense, but
You want a piece of me, boy?
does sort of slow the flow of
Additional
it.
supply depots required.
Reporting for duty.
It sort of work better in some ways if they focused more on just giving you a set number of troops and then focusing on tactics and stuff so that you can win. Because then that would be more of a strategy game, whereas this is, it's not really strategy so much. I mean, you can use some variations of sort of strategy in the game. There's a few different things you can do and ways of doing things, but mostly you just sort of build up your base, you get a shitload of troops, and then you just throw them at the enemy,
Good to go, sir.
which isn't really particularly tactically interesting.
SCP good to go, sir.
Um,
Job's finished.
Let's put that there. Of course, you can do slightly more interesting tactics sometimes.
Research complete.
It depends what you play as well.
Standing by.
I mean, when I play as Terran, I tend to do a sort of slower advance using siege tanks and things and support them. Whereas
Enough minerals.
if I play as the Zerg, I'm generally using just Hydralisks, a sort of basic infantry unit, and not much else really. Occasionally a couple other things if I sort of need them to support what the Hydralisks will be doing, but otherwise it's just them.
You
want a piece of me, boy? Reporting for duty.
And Protoss are a bit weird. You can do a sort of mixed sort of infantry tactic where you mostly, well, not tactic maybe, but you sort of focus mostly on whatever the hell they're called, Templars possibly, or well, the basic zealots. That's the one. Yeah, you use the basic infantry units, which is the zealot, and the dragoon, and you basically want sort of half and half. So you've got a ranged attack and a close quarters attack, and you sort of just use them together. That's quite good. But even though there are more specialist units that can do interesting things, you don't really need them that much. And it's hard to coordinate them. Well, you can't really coordinate them, but whatever. Anyway, right, so let's 3 of these guys, and let's get the ghosts in there. Because I don't have any other use for them at the moment. Let's keep building the depots. And another tank, 2 tanks even. The more tanks the better. Good, so he can come up here and he can build an academy. So I can upgrade my my infantry. He's still building that. How many have I got on the minerals? About 6. Just a couple more. I'll build some more then. Good. Let's get them up to the bunkers to defend them. Another one of those.
Orders, sir. Yes, sir. Destination. Identify
Did not want him there. There's a definite problem with this game is that they don't always move where you want them. They sort of encounter obstacles sometimes and they just go all over the place. That can be very frustrating. Shit.
Standing by. Outstanding. Ready to roll.
Okay.
Go, go, go. Let's move. Rock and roll. Go, go, go. Commander. Rock and roll. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You want a piece of
Pop
me,
a bunker
boy?
there in case they try that again.
Orders, Captain?
Only lost 1 SCV, so that's not too bad. Definitely want that upgraded. And let's get some
ready to roll out.
missile turrets up here.
Yes, sir.
Oh, goody. Right.
Proceeding.
SCV, good to go, piece of me, boy.
Once we've got enough, so we've got about 12 Marines, then we'll start an advance.
Job's finished. Standing by. Jacked up and good to go.
Your forces are under attack.
Orders, Captain? Give me something to shoot.
So let's get these up here. Don't drive forward, you idiot. That's another downside to them as well, like they will sort of move towards the enemy if they see them, which is a pain because then they'll get themselves murdered sometimes.
Your forces are under attack.
Piece of me, boy. Reporting for duty.
Identify target.
Give me something to shoot. Give me something to shoot.
Let's get them up there. Move him forward
You want a piece of me, boy?
to keep Duke out of the line of fire mostly, but he can do a little bit. Especially in the early stages, because he's not likely to encounter much that'll do him any harm.
Input coordinates.
SCV, good to go, sir.
Destination. Identify target.
Another one healed. Yeah, you get quite a bit of sort of attacks, or sort of defensive attacks like that, so it's really good having your siege tanks in place.
Identify target. Delighted to, sir. Good to go, sir. Absolutely.
Your forces are under
Them
attack.
as well, because the detectors are very useful.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Jacked up and good to go. Yes, sir. Destination. You want a piece of me, boy? Proceeding.
Enough of it.
Yes, sir. Standing by.
Keep them up as well. Okay, right, so let's move forward.
Proceeding. Jacked up and good to go. Orders, sir.
Upgrade complete.
Destination. Right away, sir. Identify
If you're doing like these siege tank lines, it's good to have an SCV or two along with you just so you can try and heal them a bit, repair them even, because they will take some damage, and because they're like the backbone of what you're doing, it's a nuisance if you lose a couple.
Yes, sir.
Slows things down quite
Your
a bit.
forces are under attack.
So let's get them up there just to detect shit. And yeah, I'll start upgrading that. And that. Do I want a nuke? Yeah, why not? Start doing the ghosts. Yeah, okay. Can't do anything about yet. Right.
Orders, sir. Destination. Well. Yes, sir.
So let's get these forward.
Proceeding. Orders, Captain. Yes, sir.
There we
Your
go.
forces
There.
are under attack.
Destination. Commander. Stand receiving orders. Orders, sir.
These can be fairly slow, but
Orders, sir. Identify target. Orders, sir. Absolutely.
it's fairly reliable because the siege tanks give you enough distance that you just, it's hard for the enemy to actually get to grips with you.
Excellent. Make up your mind. Greetings, Command. Orders, sir. Orders, Captain. Identify target.
Research complete.
Moving.
Right, let them do that for a few
I'm
minutes.
listening.
Right, so
Right away, sir.
can he get out of there? Can't really do anything there.
Nuclear missile
Right.
ready.
Okay.
Destination.
Good, he's not trapped. Sometimes the SCVs will get trapped behind buildings, and that's a pain.
Moving.
Right, so tell them to go up there.
Up and good to go.
Your
All Marines.
forces are under attack.
Upgrade my armor, and I want another builder because my
Orders, sir.
little chappie who's with the troops is up here. And I can start building a command center here, which I'll then fly forwards. I think there should be some minerals and things around the area we're moving into.
Identify target.
Complete.
Destination. Well,
Upgrade complete.
Commander. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. More resources. Excellent. Just what we need. What do I want him for? I want to build an armory. That's what I want. And Let's do some more upgrading things. Don't think I need to do anything much there. Could get another one of them, but not yet. Can't do anything there. Okay.
Roll out. Rock and roll. Outstanding. Rock and roll. Piece of me, boy. Let's move.
Well,
Oh, you will get splash damage as well from siege tanks, so it's best not to have your marines too close to buildings and things that are being attacked. Right, so I think we'll leave it there. So thank you for watching, and bye bye for now.